Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Um, this is your Leo reading that we are re-recording for you because the original came up with zero sound. And it sounded creepy, honestly. So this happens a lot to anybody that is talking about twin flame unions, and the twins are coming into connection, or you're speaking about people coming into union. It's not uncommon for any coach, reader, anybody that has knowledge about it, to experience technical difficulties, their videos not uploading properly or at all, the sound not working. I was on my second computer just trying to get it recorded that day. So I wasn't familiar with it. And I had just recorded a personal reading on Zoom, which is what I'm on right now. And it worked just fine. And then when I went back to just use the camera in Microsoft, the mic wouldn't work. So I don't know much about those things, but that's what's happened. And this is really common when people are talking about important divine and higher soul level connections coming into union. And in this case, it's for you, Leo, and possibly with an Aries. Aries had a similar reading, and the exact same happens. I'm going to have to redo Aries as well. And then hopefully we'll be back to normal with Sagittarius, and I'll just stick with recording on Zoom since this computer doesn't like working with the software. So this is going to be an exciting reading for you. I hope you can tolerate the way it's coming in, because some amazing information. If your divine counterpart or higher level soul connection or somebody you want to be with is not a Leo or an Aries, then just stay tuned for the rest of the week and we will see what happens. So I'm going to start myself doing this reading, and I will fast forward through the shuffling and things like that for us, or I will use that time to explain and coach on other things. So here we go. So, welcome to the channel, Leo. I am so glad you are here. The way to get a hold of me is below in the description of this video. You can email me. That includes if you would like a personal reading, just email me for that. And we do a one-on-one Zoom just like this, where I record the meeting and you get to keep it forever and ever and ever. Please assign all genders and identities as you wish. This is all about the evolution of energy throughout the Fool's Journey. And the Fool's Journey is what tarot is about. And so if you'd like to know more about that, you can Google it. It's on YouTube as well, in multiple places, short and long versions of it. If you don't like shuffling, fast forward. I'll be helping us with that today. And if the reading doesn't fit, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. Not every reading is going to be for you, and that's okay. If you could please assist, look at us, we're on sync with the algorithm in YouTube. If your likes, shares, and subscribes push, they send you more Leo readings if you like, share, subscribe, and comment on videos. And then in turn, this video will get sent out to other Leos. So you're helping other Leos get this divine union message, which is imperative. And of course, I appreciate them and I love interacting with you guys on the internet. And I'm happy to answer questions and things like that. So all that being said, let's see what is going on for you, my darling little Leos. I am a Leo sun, and my Saturn is also in Leo. So I'm a Leo sun, Taurus moon, and a Scorpio rising. My Venus is in Cancer, which I don't think you could pick a better place for your Venus, honestly. You got to pick it yourself, which, depending on what you believe, I did. So, yeah, so don't be surprised if you are coming into union, if you're experiencing any type of technical difficulties, friends, family, and coworkers are acting so weird around you. These connections coming into union, they really upset people, and anybody of the darkness does try to stop the light, but it never fully happens. It just slows it down a second, and then we sonic boom out. At least that's my experience. Okay, so I'm using the Grand Lux Tarot because I felt like when I looked down, I just saw that Leo energy staring at me. So I picked that up. Any decks I don't get in person, I get on Etsy. So, Leo, you have entered the chat immediately. The bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords. So, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, fire sign. This card for me is a friend card or a friendship card. It's about keeping it light, fun, happy, flirty, a good time. It can also be about adventure, so travel a lot, usually associated with positive messages, especially by text and things like that. So fire sign doesn't have to be, it can just be somebody in this energy, and this is the grounding energy permeating the reading. So welcome to the chat, Leo. You are officially here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just laying out the spread, and I'm not channeling ever when I'm laying the cards out, but I do know what they all mean. I never really, you would think that I would look down and know what the reading is about. To a degree, I do, but really, until I start channeling and start picking up the cards and talking to you, I don't know what way we're going because the cards have a lot of meanings, and when they're beside each other and things like that, they have other the ones. Okay, so I've just laid out the cards and I look down and I'm ecstatic because the Empress is in your overall energy and how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself right now, Leo. And then the Emperor is in your outcome. Emperor is an Aries, doesn't have to be, but she's the divine feminine in the twin flame journey, the Empress is, and she's the embodiment of all the queens. So she's the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. She represents pregnancy, fertility, abundance, and growth of every single kind. She represents motherhood. You could literally be birthing a business into fruition. Just take any sirens as Archangel St. Michael. I live by a fire station. Um, so birthing a new business, an actual baby, if you are pregnant at this time, if you are not, be careful. But she's standing in her power. She's a boss bitch, and she represents growth of every single kind. And she represents the feminine energy in the twin flame journey. Ta-da! Here we go. Here's the divine masculine. The divine masculine is the emperor. The emperor is all the kings. So he's the king of wands, king of pentacles, king of swords, and the king of cups all in one. So he is the man. He also represents fatherhood and authority. He represents long term if you want a relationship, and so that's a successful outcome in a relationship, and it's a successful outcome in business because he's a leader and he represents stability. So the energy you're in right now, Leo, which isn't shocking because whenever these divine unions come in, there's a lot of BS. And so it's Seven of Swords. And Seven of Swords is the liar, cheater, stealer card, people being sneaky. You may or may not know about what's going on in and around you, but since it's your energy, wouldn't be surprised you are aware of some shady stuff going on around you and people keeping secrets and things like that and being deceptive. It can also mean avoiding confrontation. It can also mean strategic planning. So this card would come up if you were planning like a surprise party and you were keeping things close to your chest. But more often than not, this card represents lying, cheating, stealing, people throwing you under the bus, people scapegoating you. And so, if you have an awareness of some of that going on, this is your reading. Um, okay, so the moon is in your difficulties section. So, in the upright, the moon is about the subconscious, it's about emotions, it can be about um, being emotional. I can get this a lot when I'm overwhelmed emotionally. It is about the unseen, the unknown, and using your intuition. So when it's in its difficulties, it means you are having difficulties with this at this time. It's also a deception card. So again, we have like a double whammy coming up with this deception. So, if people are acting a little bit odd, strange, and out of sorts, um, likely some really good stuff for you is coming in, and people think they hide stuff, but they don't. So just know, like, you aren't losing your mind if your intuition bells are going off about people lying, cheating, stealing, being sneaky, avoiding confrontation, being deceptive. Um, just be confident and use that intuition, because this is a double whammy about deception in your presence. So this is the Queen of Wands. Welcome, welcome to the chat again, Leo. So we have the Page of Wands and now we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very sexy. She's very popular and well known. She has a lot of friends. She's very busy bee, very social. She's a workout girl. Uh, in her negative energy, she can be a social climber and elbow people and step on them to get out of her way and be incredibly arrogant. And here we go, another Leo card. So strength is a Leo card, and it is all about inner strength. And right there, I'm explaining, like, this card comes up a lot for me when I have to keep my mouth shut. And it is challenging because fire signs are firecrackers. And so it can be difficult to seriously control situations by basically sucking it up, sucking something up. And so, being that the um, Queen of Wands, she can represent the other woman in reading. So you could have had to suck it up in regard to another woman. You could have had to suck it up in regard to another fire sign or a woman that embodies that queen's energy. Or you're the fire sign, so you've had to suck it up. So the Queen of Wands typically represents the other woman. The Queen of Swords can represent a karmic, and the Queen of Pentacles pretty much always represents the wife. So when I'm asking questions and these cards come out, and I'm like, who is, this? And if I get the Queen of Wands, it's the other woman. If I get Queen of Swords, it's the karmic. If I get Queen of Pentacles, it is the wife. So, big, so since all this cheating and deception is here and things like that, it could be that, you've recently found out some stuff and you're having to suck it up, figuring something out in regard to a woman, another woman, a fire sign, and you're just like holding it together while all this deception's going on around you. And you probably are in awareness of it. If you're not, FYI. Okay, so in your goals, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is a seed. It is about planting seeds. And so, whether this is a business or a long-term relationship you desire, you're planting seeds for a solid foundation in a business, or you're planting seeds for a loyal, stable, and committed um, relationship, because the Pentacles are the loyal, stable, and committed. So in the near future, you're going to be on a little break, taking a rest. If you are aware of this other woman and this deception around you, it would not surprise me if you wanted like a time out to yourself to rest and recuperate. This card comes up for me like on days where I've got Netflix running. I'm just staring at the ceiling going, is this really my life? So we're back to your energy that you're in. Thank goodness you see yourself in your power as the divine feminine, in standing in your power in growth. Friends, family, and coworkers see you as the Queen of Cups. And so the Queen of Cups is very sweet. She is very intuitive. She's emotionally intelligent. She has a high emotional IQ. If she's at a party, she'd be the one like helping the hostess clean up and get people drinks and things like that. She's also the type of mom that, if you got in trouble, she'd give you a cookie and tell you to go outside and don't do that again. She gets a bad rap for kind of for being dumb, because she operates from her heart space. So she's very forgiving and causes people to think she's stupid for being that way, when really she can kind of just detect where a lot of their emotional trauma comes from and is forgiving of that. Um, in her shadow, she can have rose colored glasses because she's emotional. There's emotional outbursts and clinginess and things like that. Sometimes emotional manipulation. So I don't know. I might have like already explained why I might have just popped up and started explaining. Oh, I know what I did. I was explaining the shadow side of the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, she will elbow people to get ahead, and she's a social climber, and she's very arrogant and obnoxious. So the Knight of Cups, your guidance is to stay in your loving heart. You already have the Queen of Cups as how you're perceived by friends, family, and coworkers. Just stay in that energy, especially in communication with people. The Knights are about messages and communication. So just make sure all communication at this time is coming in a loving manner and from your heart space. This also could be letting you know that some romance is coming in. And P.S., the Emperor is your outcome. So, taking this rest might bring the romance in, or you're taking a rest from romance right now, which, if you're already having issues with something going on, I can see how you'd want to take this rest from romance. And that's what I'm about to explain, is like, if you're overwhelmed and you've had to go through this deception thing, you might be a little gun shy of any romance at this time. So the Four of Swords coupled with the Knight might be taking a break from romance, taking a break from dates for a minute to just get yourself together a little bit, which is okay, by the way. Don't let anybody tell you any different. So your outcome Emperor. So he's an Aries. He can be an Aries. Represents the divine masculine. He's the man. He's a leader. He represents stability, fatherhood, um, long-term anything. So long-term business, long-term relationships. So him coupled on in the reading, it'll either be a new seed for you planted in business, or this new seed for this divine union is coming in. And the Emperor is always a yes card, is especially always a yes card in the outcome. The Ace of Pentacles is always a yes card, no matter what. So that's two yeses right there. So it's either yes for divine union or yes for this business coming in. And they always choose the cards for a reason, right? So there's your divine union. You're in alignment and in your power right now for that divine union to come in. And it looks like it is going to. So let me just kind of help us through this one because I'm going to be shuffling anyway. Um, so here we go. If we were having questions about, is this a divine union coming in the tarot right out the gate, the truth deck tells us it's a soulmate connection, and that's the bottom of the deck along with the Page of Wands. So a message is coming in about a soul connection. Possibly with fire sign, maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's coming in by text, email, social media. Happy outcome. Obviously, the Emperor is a pretty dang happy outcome. So, and any message of a soul connection coming in is a pretty decent, happy outcome. So meditate. So like you saw that Four of Swords coming in, like taking that rest is going to be imperative. Um, I think that said repeating the past time. Like, hold on, what did she say? What did I put? Okay, so we have meditate is coming out, and so that's very that can be Four Swords. It's usually more hermit. Um, uh, and then I think it's like either past connection comes out or past repeating itself comes out. So let's see what it is. Because the top row I usually do pretty fast because the bottom row is a confirming. Okay, so meditate. So Four Swords. If you're in Four Swords right now, taking that rest, it's needed. Um, repeating the past. So this is somebody most likely from your past, and just and it's in alignment to come in. So we have alignment, and that is going over top of what? Oh, happy outcome. Alignment is coming went over happy outcome. And then we have let it go over the past repeating itself. So when this message comes in or this person comes in, um, take some time to think about it because it's a soul connection. And if you desire it, there might be some things in the past for you to let go. Um, however, as we progress, there's going to be more of these confirmation cards of it being a soul connection and a person from your past. So this really is a reading where the tarot builds on the message cards and it just keeps going. So it was a lot to do this reading. It was also a lot to move on to the next one and it be Aries because it's also a fire sign, and then it is also the divine masculine representation usually. So if your divine person is not a fire sign, don't stress out. Just watch the rest of the week because if one divine union is coming in Um, there's probably more than one. So stressful times usually bring these divine connections in. Um, so heart's hidden secrets, we're going to see what this divine masculine is feeling and his overall and most significant feelings towards you at this time, Leo. Let me just skip. Okay, so here we have it. The bottom of the deck is foundation, and it basically means the exact same thing as the Emperor card. So here we go. We have, I'll show you. We're going to have the Page of Wands as a messenger. We have soul connection. And then we have basically foundation. So you're going to be building a solid foundation, and it's also another Emperor confirmation right there. Distance. So if this has been a person that you're kind of distant from, um, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, rejection, like one or both of you might have rejected each other in the past and they're desiring coming in. So, hex and witchcraft, I'll go into this a little bit more later. Usually, the curse card means more about negative thinking than anything else. It rarely has to do with a curse, but I go a little deeper into that since it's a divine connection, and a lot of people try to keep those from coming in time. So waiting cycles, moments, and that is going to be going right over distance. So if there's been some time and distance from this person, you might not even immediately recognize who we're talking about, although it would be pretty difficult to not remember who a divine masculine is. So they'll be coming in for a second chance, and that's going over the rejection card. So um, whichever way the rejection went, they're coming in for another roll at the dice, second chance. Intuition, so heart song, telepathy, inner knowing. So this is another nod because there's a lot of telepathic communication in these connections. And most of the time they start in the 5D and they trickle down, 5D and above, and trickle down into 3D. And so that's going over the curse card. So just know, like, negative thinking of any kind is not going to bring this in. And then a lot of people don't like to see these divine connections come together, because you're talking about an ultimate power couple that separately probably overcame quite a few things on their own, and then them coming together to unite, to be an example of light to the world. It does not make anything of the dark happy. And so you can buy negative energy work on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, online, anywhere pretty much. And so if somebody wanted to hang on to this divine masculine, or you for that matter, love spells are binding, freezer spells are binding. Any negative energy work that causes someone to lose their free will is not of the light, it's of the dark. And that's breaking spiritual law. So, I have no doubt if that was done, there's karmas playing out around you that you may or may not know about. But I mention it just because it's there. And the dark is always, always trying to keep these messages from getting out, keep these partnerships coming into union. It's not meant to scare you, it's just meant to. And I'm a twin flame coach, so if you want any advice on this or coaching through this, I am just email me. The description is in the video of how to do that below. But yeah, like if stuff's going cuckoo cuckoo all around you, I'm not shocked right now. I've been having all kinds of computer problems and people acting out of sorts all around me. Okay, so, and right now it's 11:11 on my actual time, which is the angel number. Okay, so now we're going to see what he has to say to you, or he, she, they. Okay. I was pretending to be somebody else. So a lot of times people put on a bravado, right? Especially when they feel these intense emotions and they feel them so intensely and so quickly. Um, Sometimes I get accused of putting spells on people, and I don't. You deserve better than me. So there's some insecurity there, or they just flat out knew, like they were in a don't hate the player, don't hate the player, don't hate the player, hate the game mode type thing. So people not wanting to admit their emotions is a thing. I miss you. Friends or family disapprove of this connection. And I think that was the bottom of the deck energy. So definitely people were interfering. Like if you think back to all the sneakiness and stuff like that, and the other woman and all the things in the tarot at the very beginning, there's a lot of people in and around this, and probably in your person's ear, probably in your ear, just getting in the way and saying whatever to make sure it doesn't, to make sure the relationship didn't come together the first time for sure. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Pretending to be someone else. Okay, I'm going too fast. All the cards came out. Let's see. Basically the cards were, people were interfering. They love you, they miss you. um that's three of them, but the overall thing is that you're coming back into union, and so meditation is going to help with that, so get rested up and relax. Because if it's divine union with your divine counterpart and emperor, this is going to be a ride. And just don't be surprised if people continue to keep acting not great around you. This brings in a lot of chaos initially. It's pretending to be someone else. Okay, so this is your um, card at the end that I do with the miracle cards, where I give you a piece of advice to take with you throughout the rest of the week. And so it's about giving your successes and failures up to God, which, if you are both in divine alignment at this time and you're standing in your divine feminine power, and that has put you in alignment, which we saw that for your divine masculine to come in, then you are already doing that. So just keep up doing the great and amazing work that you're doing, and just take some time for yourself. Heal up if you need to heal up, because some amazing stuff is headed in your direction for sure. It is your future and your outcome. So, just keep giving the successes to God, keep giving the failures to God, focus on the positive, try to do your best to stay out of the negative mindset so that this can come into union, because once it does, it's over. Like this, I think this is going to really require one positive conversation, and it's going to set off whether this means business for you or it actually is your divine counterpart coming in. So that is what I have for you, Leo. Please help YouTube and the algorithm with your likes, shares, and subscribes. That's how they know to send you more Leo readings like this. And that's how they're going to send out this important message to other Leos. And of course, I love talking to you and I love your likes, shares, and subscribes. You can hit me up for a personal, just grab the email from below in the description box. And I will be, I don't know how to quit sharing right now. I will be more than happy to assist you with a personal reading, and we will be doing it just like this. Where, it's a one-on-one, I record it and I send it to you and you get to keep it forever. So that's what I have for you, Leo. Have an amazing week. And I am so sorry we had to do the reading this way.